Now, with coverage you trust, this is 10 News Conference.
Good morning and welcome to this special edition of 10 News Conference. Rhode Island has 4 candidates for Lieutenant Governor this year, and all of them are here to discuss their candidacies in the next half hour. Bill Gilbert is on the left. You're right, I guess. He is from the moderate party. Dan McKee, Mayor of Cumberland, is the Democratic nominee. Tony Jones is from the Libertarian Party.
Sir.
And Catherine Taylor, currently Director of Elderly Affairs, is a Republican candidate. So we're just going to start off this discussion by asking all of you to tell me what you think the Lieutenant Governor should do and why you want to be in that race. Bill.
Excellent. Hey, thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate everybody being here also. One platform of our campaign here at the Moderate Party, especially everybody knows our big flagship, Mr. Healy, is running also. We actually believe in eliminating the position at this time. We believe that the Lieutenant Governor's duties are so limited, doesn't justify the $1 million expense that the office holds. That's one of the things. But we also recognize, and my candidacy also recognize, we just can't simply not take the job. It's a constitutionally enacted role in the government, and it has statutory duties, and that's funded statutorily. So one thing that we would like to do as a Moderate Party and myself as candidate, we would like to utilize the office to start rolling back those functions, have them rolled back into the other actions of the other various departments of government. And while we're doing that, actually talk about the constitutional convention so we can do that. There's a lot of things that we need to do at the municipality level. There's a lot of things that we need to do at the state level where that $1 million budget can be transferred some other place. Okay. But we also have to recognize if we do have a constitutional convention, the people of Rhode Island might choose to keep the Lieutenant Governor's position and add duties to it.
All right, Mayor?
Well, my campaign's been a very simple one for a better Rhode Island, and which means to me a better economy, better job opportunities, better education, better schools. And I see my experience as a mayor for 12 years and bringing that experience and 35 years of business experience to the Lieutenant Governor's office, and really work very hard to improve our business climate, because you're going to be an advocate for small business. Emergency management, that's a great space to bring in some of the consolidation, regionalization strategies that I've been involved in with the municipal leaders throughout the state of Rhode Island. And so I look forward to using that office as a way to kind of get us going in a new direction in the state of Rhode Island, not get us back on the same set of tracks. The last 4 years have been the difficult years for us in the state of Rhode Island. Actually, the last 12 years have been somewhat difficult. So I can see using that office to get us on a new set of tracks and to provide the leadership, new leadership, to bring a better Rhode Island for everybody that lives in the state.
Tony.
So my platform kind of mirrors Mr. Gilbert's platform. As a libertarian, I'm fiscally conservative, but I'm socially cool. So I believe that government should run as lean as possible. They should be good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars. But on the other side of that, I don't feel the government should have a say in what you do behind closed doors. If you want to smoke cannabis, et cetera, et cetera. So I also would like to shut down the office. Kind of what separates me from Mr. Gilbert is that I would like to do those voluntarily. There's hundreds and thousands of people around the state of Rhode Island that volunteer on boards and commissions as their civic duty. And I think that I could bring that into the office. I'm a communications guy, so I think that I could bring the communications aspect of the new media into any of those statutory obligations, but I would like to volunteer to do those, so I wouldn't take a staff, I wouldn't take a salary, kind of like Mr. Healy has advocated in the past.
Ms. Taylor.
Good morning, Bill, and good morning, gentlemen. It's nice to be here with all of you. I'm running for Lieutenant Governor because as a citizen and as a taxpayer, I want to make sure that while that office exists for the next 4 years, it will, that the person in the office isn't there for the title or for the promotion, but is there to do the legal duties of the office and run the 3 councils required by law in a way that brings our economy forward, where we stop talking about the economy and jobs creation is one thing and healthcare and social services is another thing, but remember that healthcare is the #1 sector of our economy, and to talk about the business angle, the back office parts of healthcare, and also talk about health and aging and disability are really workforce issues too. And the Lieutenant Governor is uniquely positioned to help in those areas. So that's why I'm running.
Well, so what is wrong, Dan, with her idea of focusing on the statutory requirements of the job?
I think you should.
But it seems more, you've kind of encompassed the whole idea of turning Rhode Island, making Rhode Island a better place, putting it on the right tracks. As Lieutenant Governor, are you going to be able to wrestle with all those issues that are involved in that?
I think you need to. I think you need, you got the statutory positions, which is the small business advocacy. There's no reason why you can't expand that through some sort of executive type of privilege to really bring in businesses throughout the state of Rhode Island and start talking to them and creating, streamlining the bureaucracy that currently exists. I've been in business for 35 years.
But I mean, just that one item, streamlining the bureaucracy, is something that people at the State House have been talking about for decades. And now Dan McKee's going to be Lieutenant Governor and fix it?
Well, we've done that in the town of Cumberland. So when Okanite came to talk to me in the spring about being able to expand, retrofit 200,000 square foot of manufacturing space and add another 100,000 square feet, and they want to be within a year's time, we went through zoning, we ran them right through, and now they're in construction, and they're going to be within a year's time. That you need responsive, intentional actions by government to do that. And what I'm uniquely positioned on is that I've worked with municipal leaders throughout the state of Rhode Island. The municipal leaders are the front line with Okanites and the CVSs and the small businesses, and we're going to be able to create that office as a space where they're going to be bringing those opportunities to the Lieutenant Governor's office and be advocating for the small businesses. So I see a real synergy and direct connection there that makes a lot of sense. And of course you would work on the emergency management. That's another space that the experience of a municipal leader can come into play in terms of regionalizing public safety dispatch and using that space to do that. And then the long-term care is I agree with Catherine that there's small businesses in that space, and they're one of many groups that need to be brought into that.
Bill, why
discussion.
should somebody vote for you? I mean, besides the fact that you will eventually get rid of the office, saving $1 million out of a $8 billion budget. Many people may not think that's even a lot of money. But what else would you do in the time you were in the
I absolutely agree with that. That's not a lot of money. One of the unique factors about this job, as Dan was talking about, is the political capital that the job brings. The political capital to push through an agenda and work with actually the current administration, whether it be Republican, whether it be Democrat. We do have legislative functions that need to keep being performed until the electorate, the voters, actually decide to change this position. So some of the things that we need to do, we're talking about long-term care coordination, Alzheimer's and all these type of patients. One of the things that's really missing from long-term care coordination are the caregivers. One of the things that we got to look at, I have a friend that takes care of his elderly mother. He gets 3 hours a week away from her. She doesn't even know who she is. She actually talks to he hangs a shirt up on the door handle. She talks to the shirt. He's ready to put a gun in his mouth because he has to deal with it 24 hours a day. He is a person that they have some means, so the care that he could get, they could either go destitute and go into a nursing home where the care is probably subpar. And all the home health care workers, because of the lack of training, the lack of knowledge of mental illnesses, there's no in between. He's like in that donut hole. We have more people in long-term care that don't need to be there because of family members and just financially. So the Lieutenant Governor's position can advocate for small businesses. We can make this Destination RI. That's what I want to say, Destination RI. We have great assets here. We need to focus on the long-term care and that Emergency Advisory Council. These are legitimate functions this office holds.
Tony, does any of this make sense to you?
Well, where I have to disagree with these guys is that it's what they're advocating constitutionally, that's not the job. So that's the equivalent of you walking into the station and saying, I'm the station manager now. You know, it's not the job. You have a bully pulpit. You could do that voluntarily. You could cut your staff. You could cut your salary. And Mr. Gilbert's right about the Constitutional Convention. What the Libertarians, they support that. And we'd like to utilize, among other things, the Constitutional Convention to eliminate the office later on down the road. But in the meantime, I'd be doing that job for free. I'd use the bully pulpit for the legalization of marijuana. I'd support the arts and tourism and culture. But voluntarism can turn this state around, and that's what I would bring.
Just before we go to break, are you in favor of a constitutional convention?
Very strongly so.
And Mayor, are you in favor of a constitutional convention?
Yes.
So we all agree on
Wow.
that. We're going to take a break, and we will continue our discussion with the 4 candidates for Lieutenant Governor after these commercial messages.